Name is Tilak and I'm right now studying Masters in Industrial Engineering at West Virginia University in West Virginia. I came here in December 2023, and it's been a year.
Hello, I'm Siddhant Neupane uh, from Butol, Nepal, and I'm also pursuing my Master in Industrial Engineering and Management in Oklahoma State University, Oklahoma. I came here in last January 2024.
Guys, let us start from Siddhant about your university and the course that you are pursuing.
As I previously mentioned, that I'm pursuing my Masters in Industrial Engineering and Management in General Industrial Engineering sector. We basically comprise the course like supply chain management, introduction to optimization, supply, probability and statistics for engineer, and integrated manufacturing systems.
Can we hear about Tilak's course and what thesis, what kind of work he is doing right there in WBU?
Yeah, since it's been a year, I've taken 6 courses. In first semester, I took like integrated manufacturing, additive manufacturing and technology and materials, and advanced production and control. And I'm in second semester right now, and I'm taking courses, a design of experiment, smart manufacturing, and Lean Six Sigma. Lean Six Sigma was a online course, and it was completed like 1 month ago. It will take the half of this semester to complete. And my thesis, I'm doing my thesis here. Like I'm ready to defend my proposal. And my thesis is on a study of the socioeconomic and demographic factors in energy consumption in residential, commercial, and industrial sectors.
Yeah, right. So let us start from the basics. What motivated you to pursue the masters in US? So why US and why masters?
Yeah, we all studied in same college and we knew each other very well. So in my bachelor's, as you guys know, I was more motivated into energy sector, how we can make our planet Earth more sustainable and a better place to live, right? So I choose my elective as energy audit, efficiency, and management. And that course motivated, like that further increased my motivation to pursue my career in energy sectors. So I decided, I was very clear in my undergraduate that I'll be going for higher studies. And so there were a couple of options. I thought of going to Europe. I thought of going to Australia and obviously the US. And at the end of the day, like I decided to come to the US because of the opportunities it offers after graduating. It's tough, but people that come here, they have done a very well here. So yeah, I decided to come to the US. So in that journey, I looked for a couple of universities, applied to them, and at the end, my professor from West Virginia University accepted me as his master's student. So yeah, that was my
Yeah, yeah. Can we hear about the Siddhant's journey as well?
As Tilak, I also chose my elective in my undergrad as an energy audit, efficiency, and management. And after completing my bachelor, so I came through the lab called Industrial Training and Assessment Center in the US. So we basically do the same thing as we did in our undergrad while we learned about the energy audit, efficiency, and management. So I approached my professors, Dr. Hitesh Bora from the Oklahoma University. I emailed him and telling about my interest to join his lab, and he accepted me, and I came here.
Yeah. So how is it going there in your university right now?
So basically, in our university, we do an energy audit to the small and the medium-sized manufacturing facilities and the commercial building, as well as the rural business sites. So we go to the sites and we do an energy audit, identify the energy saving opportunities in the energy consuming equipments, and provide them a recommendations to do energy savings in those equipments and in the process as well.
So how rigorous are you finding this works in contrast to the work that you did while you were studying engineering in Nepal? Siddhant.
It's quite different comparing with the Nepal, as there are less facilities and less industries in the Nepal as compared to the US, and we do not have such opportunities to go to so many industries in Nepal and do an energy audit there. So these things here are quite different. Here, the facilities reach to us to do and ask us to do an energy audit in their site, and we just go there and we do our walk through their sites and do an energy audit. So it's quite different comparing to the Nepal, because in Nepal the industries do not want to share their utilities bills and their sites, but here it's quite different.
Yeah, Tilak, what were the factors that influenced your decision while choosing the university? So, and can you tell me about the landscape of the research that you are doing in your university, the whole landscape in the country, if you are aware of?
Yeah, as I told earlier, that I was interested in energy efficiency, sustainability. So I found a post in LinkedIn from my professor, and he was hiring for 3 students to enroll in his program. And it was clearly mentioned that the lab I'll be joining in future. I will be working on uh, uplifting the life of the people living in the disadvantaged community in the US with the focus on sustainability, energy efficiency, and climate change and pollution prevention. So, and at the time, I was like, hell yeah, I found a gem. This is what I'm supposed to do in future. So, yeah, that motivated me. Apart from that, I have applied to 2 other universities. The one was Michigan Tech, and the other was University of Tennessee. So from Michigan Tech, my application was on the spring, but the program said you won't be able to join in the spring. So my application was deferred to the coming fall. So I wanted to come to US as early as possible. For that, I had only one option, that is West Virginia University. And our lab does the same thing as Siddhant Nupane. We do ASTRAI level 1, 2, and 3 energy audits in small businesses. And apart from that, I'm also working to develop a virtual audit methodology where I lead a team to develop calculators using Excel VBA to make easier for the industry to do assessment themselves, to find their energy savings and opportunities by themselves, so that they can cut the cost of doing energy audit from the third party.
Yeah, it sounds amazing to see how Nepali students are making tools that are selling millions in dollars for the industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. Nepalis are they're one of the best. Like every professor want to recruit Nepali students because we're hardworking, we are honest.
Yeah, basically, that is the thing. And I have been asked by many of our juniors and few of the people who watch my series on these things to how to apply to US and how we should go to US like our seniors, like you guys are. Yeah, so can you guide us through the thorough process of the application and the interview? So where to start? I'm just graduated, so where shall I start from? So, Tilak, can you start?
Yeah. First of all, my request for everyone is to be clear with your aim, like what you're going to do in future. There are tons of opportunities here. There are tons of research, and I saw last week the position of graduate research assistant increased by 11%. So it's an ever growing field. Like everyone, the research in US is very heavily invested by government and labs and government agencies. So if you are clear with your aim, I'm 100% sure you will get one in US. So you don't have to worry about it. For that, you have to prepare yourself with the basic fundamental requirements. Like if you are coming here for a research, you should have at least basic research a background, or you should be all aware with the research methodology, how to write a paper, how to all the research, all the work that goes into writing a paper, right? And apart from that, you should like start searching for universities based on your portfolio. You are the one who you know best, right? There are top universities like Harvard and Stanford, and like mid universities, and like private universities that most of the students come to. So if you want to pursue master's degree or PhD, I request everyone, like there are a few things you have to do beforehand, like doing GRE, TOEFL, and working on projects in your undergraduate. It's like selling yourselves to professors. So you should make your portfolio as per the requirement that you are going to pursue in future.
Yeah, like making portfolios seems quite important to pursue the higher studies. So, where shall I start from? Like I said, shall I start from meeting the professors or shall I directly be applying to the universities? What do you say, Siddhant?
So in my case, I lived through the professors all over the years. So at first I started approaching the professors, then I started to follow the applications process. So in my case, but in general, most of the student just do a GRE, TOEFL, and IELTS, and they started applying to the university, and they approach the professor later. So there are two cases. So we can do both.
But the chance of getting is a low when you first apply. It is, way better if you email your professor, and if he said yes, then that will be like 100% chance.
Yeah, and there is certain applications fee which you can be waived if you approach the professor first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest, doing TOEFLs or doing IELTS? So there are two or more English proficiency tests. Like some people are, I know, doing
Some people like they dually. Yeah, then
at staying in general. If I'm starting to prepare for any kind of English speaking test, so what should I do? What do you guys suggest to do before applying to the universities? I am not unsure about the university, but I have to prepare the English test, right? So it will give me more time to search for universities if I prepare English test beforehand.
yeah. As soon as you graduate, like in Nepal, if you are studying in Pulchok campus or Tirupati University, you will graduate in April, right? So if you are graduating in April, the application window for spring semester opens in August, September, October, in these 3 months. So what I suggest you do is to start preparing for TOEFL and GRE. So I did everything from home. I studied myself. I never went to institution. So I did. If you guys won't believe me, I did my GRE in 20 days. It was a kind of professor told me to hurry up because otherwise I won't get an application. I won't get an acceptance. So I had to do it in 20 days. So I request everyone to starting preparation for the English proficiency and GRE.
And most of the universities are waiving GREs. Do you guys suggest doing GREs or not doing GREs? What do you think beneficial? Also, of course, it is subjective because it depends on the university.
It depends on the university and the professor. If your professor wants you to do a GRE, then you must do it. For my case, like my college, my industrial engineering department didn't require a GRE for the application, but it was my professor who told me to submit the GRE score, and I had to do GRE. So yeah, it depends where you apply and whom you reach.
So in my university case,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so a GRE is waived for the master student, but GRE is required for the PhD student.
So I was asking Siddhant about the timeline. We are a bit confused about when the college starts, when the application starts, about the early deadlines, priority deadlines, lead deadlines. Can you Siddhant please clarify the general idea of the deadline on deadline window, or does it difference drastically over different universities in the US?
Yeah, it's different from the different universities. So in my case, so most of the prior deadlines for the spring semester is September, I think.
Yeah.
And the final deadline is on October. So we can extend the deadline. It depends upon not only the university, it's depend upon the university department as well. So for the specific department, the deadline is different from the another department. So in my case, in my university, the deadline for the mechanical engineering is in the August, and for the industrial engineering is its deadline is end in September. But the whole university deadline is on October. So it depends upon the department as well.
Yeah.
Can you give the general idea of the university deadline for spring intake, fall intake, and winter intake as well? So I was asking this general idea.
So most of the case, the deadline for the spring semester is on September, and in the fall, February or March. And for the summer intake is November, December. Prior deadline is up to January, and the final deadline is in February, March for the fall intake.
So Tilak, if I am very confused and I have nothing, I have no information regarding how to approach professors, what do you suggest the right way to approaching professors that you find on either Google Scholar or on LinkedIn? So where shall I find the right professor for my interest? how should I approach what is the proper and right way to approach the professor? Is there a specific time when I shall mail him, her, or will shall I directly send the LinkedIn text to the professor? So what do you?
No, that's not professional. That's not professional. So I want to share what I did. Okay. I searched for the universities in US, the mid-level universities in US, because they are the one who which accept students more. It's very hard to get into the top universities. So yeah, I went to usnews.com. Like you can rank universities there based on the program, based on the departments, everything. So I went there. And ranked the university, and I started looking and going into their website. And when you go into a university website, you will find their research going in that university, the type of research. So I wanted to go in energy efficiency and sustainability. So I went to each of the university's website and searched for professor looking who is doing his research in energy and sustainability. And I started like making a list of professors and their email address. And I collected like 70 of them from every university's website. And I started mailing. I mailed like nearly 50 professors. So what you have to do is you should go to our university's website, look for the research going in that in that university, and and the people involved in that research, and start making list of them. And after completing making list, you should mail them by like you should first write an email template. Like in email template, you'll write about your introduction, what you did, and what motivates you to apply for that program, and what you and all these things to make it look more plausible and pleasable for the professor. And you'll send email for each of them. That's what I did. And there are the different approaches. Like professors usually post the vacancy in LinkedIn. You can email them, but do not message them, because professors, their schedule is very busy. If you message them, if you spam them, then I think you will probably get blocked. And if the professor does not reply, what you can do is you can send a follow-up email after 1 week or 2 weeks, telling him if he had any chance to look into your email and something like that.
Okay, so what shall be the process if the professor asks to you that you can zoom his her lab? So what next to them?
So if the professor interested on you, then he send you an email that I'm interested in you. Just we can have a interview. So in my case, there was a two interview. So one was about the technical parts, and another one is just about my soft skills. So it depends upon the professor. But so basically, professor did one interview. I think Tilak, you gave one interview. No, I didn't even have a yes. So it depends upon the professor. So if the professor was impressed by the CV, then he did not do an interview. So it depends upon the professor as well. So most of the professors take an interview to the students and want to know their interest. So this is the process. Then if after the interview if he want to recruit in your lab, then he just asks us to start the applications process. And
What involves in the application process?
so it also depends upon the university. So there will be one SOP, statement of the purpose, and the 3 letter of recommendations from your professors or from your project supervisors.
English proficiency.
English proficiency test, yeah, transcript, and a passport, copy of the passport as well.
Oh, you submitted a copy of passport?
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. This is the ID in that subject. Development University. Yeah. Mine was like 2 letter of recommendation. I didn't even submit 3.
And mine was 3.
Yeah, I submitted later on the university. But these are the like most fundamental one.
After I have all the documents ready for the university, so how long does it take to apply? So is it about filling the forms, or so what is it like? Yeah.
So it's just like filling a form. Yeah. So first, we have to start the applications from the university portal. So it basically means to provide our basic informations, our nationality, and then we have to submit the LOR, letter of recommendations. Then we have to submit a cover letter in some of the universities. So we need to submit the statement of purpose. Then it took about 3 or 4 weeks. It's also depend upon the university.
If professor wants, then your application will be like accepted within week.
Yeah.
If you are applying without prior communication with your professor, then it might take 1 month and like that.
So we are right now, I think, not discussing one important thing. So most of the people that I know have gone like you guys 2 years for pursuing master's degree, 6 years. Uh, they went to do a PhD, right? So what is the difference between doing PhD and doing master's? And does one overweigh another?
Yeah, there are obviously pros and cons of doing masters and doing PhD. So it depends on yourself and on your professor. If your lab has like long-term project that's going on for that will be like going on for 5 years, then he will want you to take into PhD. My lab had 2 years project going on. My lab is funded by Environmental Protection Agency (EPA), so U.S. government agency. It renews its funds in every 2 years. So my lab does short-term projects, and my professor offered me a master's degree. Some professors don't offer you master's degree. They want to take into PhD because they want you to work in their project and complete it. So it depends. So, and from the very beginning, I wasn't interested in doing PhD at all because it takes a lot of time and dedication, like 5 years, 6 years of time. You will be just working in your lab and publishing your research articles, attending conferences and everything. From the very beginning, I wanted to go to the industry as soon as I graduate. I wanted to graduate as soon as possible. But that's mm, if you want to graduate fast and start working, you should go for a master's degree. If you want to go for in a research environment, you should apply for a PhD. If you want to go in academia or in research laboratories, if you want to pursue a career in research in future, then I suggest you to go for a PhD.
Well, it's depend upon the persons to person. So if you want to be in the academia, yes.
And of course, after being like you guys are doing masters, you guys can hop into this PhD thing, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's if you want to go for a PhD, if I want to go for a PhD, then I'll tell my professor, Professor, I want to do my PhD, then I can continue my research and extend that program as a.
And are there any obligations of publishing or doing thesis like for you guys? Or I think for PhD, it is required to publish papers, at least 3 papers on a very reputed journals.
PhD is all about publishing research. You will publish the research as like you are supposed to publish the paper in PhD.
Yeah.
So and added that your publishing will depend like how much fund you are getting it. And one registers it also depends based on the program and professor. To be honest, I'm working in my lab, so my work is different and the research I'm doing is different. So I'm getting paid by working in my lab doing energy audit, developing virtual methodology. And my supervisor is different and he's from human factors and ergonomics. So I'm working with him to complete my thesis. So it depends. Some folks will they don't have to do research. They can only take a coursework, just completing the courses and working in the lab. So then there are two other various approaches in masters itself.
Yeah. But they can be same, right? But if you got the right lab where you could do your research, then you didn't have to do these two different work.
Yeah. It's depends.
Yeah, it depends. So what is up with the specializations that you are doing with being at your master's degree? Is it a very specialized core content, or is it just a very sufficient knowledge that is spread over and you are going to use anything that you are studying in the industry, or it is like very subjective, very pointed, intense knowledge that you are gaining in your masters that is required to use on university? What is it, Siddhant?
So I can use the superficial knowledge that we learned in the master's year, just like the bachelor's, just like we did in our bachelor's in our country, back in our country. So for the deeply rooted knowledge, so we have to do our job in our lab. We do our research. So from the research, we gain the practical knowledge, what we are going to do in our futures or in the external environment or in the industry. So in the course point of view, we just get a superficial knowledge, but what we learn here is from our lab, from our research work.
Yeah. So Tilak, is it any different than Siddhant's?
So yeah, mine and Siddhant, I think we both are in the same boat. The work I'm doing is different, and the course I'm taking is different, and the job I want to do in future is different. These things do not align with each other.
And it is perfectly okay with this because you had diverse experience, and of course you will gain knowledge in the job to
Yeah, what can happen if someone wants to go for a degree in biomechanical or something like that, and the department the biomechanical research is on mechanical. If the research is going within the mechanical engineering department, then the student what he has to do is he should pursue a course in mechanical. He should take a courses in mechanical engineering and do his research in biomedical. I've seen many cases like this. My colleague working in my lab, she is pursuing industrial engineering degree, but her research, her PhD is in neuroscience. That's a completely different, right? Those sectors are. So it can happen. It is not 100% sure that your research and your courses, everything will align.
So another thing I'm very curious about is the grading scheme. Is it any different than what happens in Kathmandu or this Nepal? So how are
It's totally different.
how are you guys judged in based on your academia in US? So I want to hear from Siddhant first.
Yeah. So the grading systems in our country, it was in percentile. So here, if we got the 90 plus, we get A, 80 to 90, we get B.
Yeah, basically grading system, no?
Yeah, the grading system is totally different. And
But you won't have final exams.
yeah, but in my case, we have final exam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't have to take a final exam.
So back in our country, sir, our grading is heavily based on the final exams, right? But here it's totally different. So our professor asks us to do a project. The mark is based on our projects, assignments, so and our exams as well. So Tilak said that he did not have the final exam, but
Only projects, 3 projects, 1 individual project, and quizzes after completing each chapter. That's it. And it also depends on the professor, what he
professors, universities, and in some university it's easy to get A grade, but in my university it's very hard to get A grade. It's totally different on the university as well. But the grading is totally different from the Nepal and the US.
are totally different and flexible. Like if you are running short in your marks, you can request your professor for extra credit work so that you can complete it and get a A,
Yeah.
which is not possible. So in Nepal, my percentage, like I even can't say like it was very low. It are not that low, but here in US, I got 4 GPA in first semester and 4 is still here in midterm, 4 GPA in my midterm second semester. Yeah, can get a score. It's very flexible, very easy. You just have to be honest, do your project, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's easy to get a good grade for the Nepalese student because they are handwriting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is very easy to take grades. I think you guys are also doing assignments, right? You are you are graded on basis of your
Online measure and assessments, quizzes, projects.
Yeah, sometimes the class attendance too.
Yeah.
It depends upon the professor.
what is up with the industry? Of course, US has many manufacturing. It has ranges of industries. As far as I know, I have a limited knowledge, but which industry is attracting you right now? Like you guys are on the verge of completing your masters, so let us hear from the Tilak first.
Yeah, the industries that I want to work is on energy and sustainability, pollution prevention, something like that. I want to apply for energy engineer position, energy and sustainability position. So there are a lot of industries and working in this field, but the problem is sponsorship. International students, they can't directly go into the company and start working. First, you have to get OPT, the permission to work in US. And if the company is willing to sponsor you. That's called H1B. So if you get H1B from that company, if the company is willing to sponsor you, then it will be an easy task. But if you don't find companies, if you are studying in uh, aerospace and very highly national security areas, it will be very hard for you to get into the job. If you are from IT companies, most of them offer sponsorship, but we are like specialized. We want to work in a specialized company. So it's difficult. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. You have to search for a lot of companies. So as I said, I want to go for energy and sustainability engineer. I'm looking for the companies. I'm making list of them, subscribing to their job alerts and everything.
Is never ending, but we have to be persistent. Yeah, what is up with Siddhant?
So, as you're working in my lab, I see a huge energy saving opportunities in the US industries and in the commercial building as well. So, I also want to pursue my career as an energy engineer or energy consultant in the energy farm. So, as Tilak mentioned, that it's difficult to get the sponsorship here. So, at first, my target will be to get any sponsorship from an industry, then do a job as an energy engineer or energy consultant.
Yeah. So are you guys very invested in saving the images of US government, basically?
US is like one of the largest consumer of energy, and these energy sources are from coal and natural gas. So if you can cut off the save even 1 kilowatt hour of energy, then we can save up to 140 something like the carbon dioxide. We can reduce the carbon dioxide. So why not work if you want to make your home a better place to live?
So what is the biggest challenge that you are facing right now, Siddhant?
Yeah, when I was in Nepal, I don't know how to cook. I just know the basic cooking skills, but I was not such professional to cook. But when I came here, I just cope with the very difficult situations like cooking, uh, washing dishes, something like that. But I easily got adopted here. So it's depend upon the individual and individual. So, but, and another huge problem is the cultural shock. But there are many Nepalese in our university. So it's easy to.
So how much cultural shock are you facing, Tilak?
Yeah, West Virginia is like 80%, 90% people are white. So there's no diversity in West Virginia. When we go for assessment, like there are white people, they don't want to talk to brown people. I see that. I see that in your face. They just say, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?" And they won't talk to us. They will just talk to our supervisor and research associate. But in the university, like there are a lot of Indian people, Bangladeshi people, people from Iran, Israel, Palestine, everywhere. But um, so yeah, that's not a very cultural shock in the university. But when you go in the field, then you will see like it's very visible.
And how often you guys are going out and meeting the native people, thing like in the supermarkets, maybe in the grocery stores? So how do you feel about that conversation or environment? Basically, how do you feel? Like, so let us start from hear from Tilak. How does he feel about that?
Yeah, it's not like what you think. You meeting people in supermarket and talking to. It's not like in the film. So the people are very engaged. People don't want to talk to you until like you are a close friend. You just say hi and smile, and that's it. When you see people walking on the road, you just smile and say hi, and say good morning, good evening. Like you don't have to talk, extend your conversation. But in the classroom, like if there are white people, if there are people from other countries, then you can get close with them. You can work on a project, and you can go for a hike or go for a potluck sometimes. I go for like a global IB. There is an organization called Global IB, and I go there. Sometimes I go there. It organizes like a get together every Friday, and we go there. People from all countries they go there. And we even did like Nepali night where we presented with our cuisines to them. We prepared 7 dishes and served like 50 people.
Nice.
Yeah, and people from Bangladesh, Korea, Japan, well, they all organize their respective night on that Friday evening. So it's kind of
And that sounds very culturally empowering.
Yeah, yeah. You can taste your culture, everything. You can get close with people. Our university, like, it's very flexible. Like, it organizes a dinner program every Friday and Saturday. Like, you don't have to cook in Friday and Saturday evening. And Wednesday we have even Hare Krishna bhajan chanting ceremony. People from ISKCON come here, do a bhajan, and we go there, take a prasad, and do Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. It's a good place to live. Morgantown is a good place to live. What about you, Siddhan?
Yes. So we also have an organization in our university called International Student Organizations. They organize an event. So yesterday we had an event called Mr. International. So our country won that title, Mr. Really? Yes. Was it you? No, I did not. I didn't have a chance to participate, but yeah. But in the last spring, I participated in one of the cultural performance, and we won the title.
Yeah, I said that. But it's been that there are a lot of Nepalese students. We have our own football club here in West Virginia University. It's called Sangrila FC, and we go play soccer every week, every once or twice if possible. So it's a good place to live here.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting as well. So how often are you engaging with different clubs? So I want to hear about what Siddhant has to say on these clubs.
What happened to his video? There are a lot of club. There are fraternities like Pi Beta Chi, Pi Kappa Gamma. Yeah, yeah, you can get involved in their fraternities. And regarding club, like, I was involved in AE, Association of Energy Engineers, in WVU chapter. I was the only graduate student there, so I had to guide them in a solar hackathon project.
So in my case, in our universities, there are many clubs such as the International Student Organizations, GPSJ, our Graduate Program Student Action Program, something like that, and AE Student Chapter OSU. So I involved in AE OSU Student Chapter, but I did not involve in other organizations such as the ISO because of my coursework and the research work.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are many uh, international organization and the university organization that we can work together, and I had a chance to meet with the new people from the different countries in the world.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I want to ask, like Siddhant just mentioned that he had due to his coursework he could not involve in the clubs. So how is the academic pressure? So is it very hard?
So in my case, so I want to talk from the undergrad that in our bachelor's, so we just have to study 1 month before the exam, right? But here we have to operate every single day because we have our assignments due every week, and we have our projects ongoing in our lab, and we have to study because there are so many on announcement quiz in our coursework, so we must have to study for those quiz to get the good grades. So these things stops me to be involved in those organized sense. Yeah.
So it is not very difficult, but we are not used to that. So that creates a little bit difficult.
Yes.
I think, but the case is the same in for Tilak also.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
I want to ask you guys: does your university help you get into the job market or give you the internship into the right areas? So I know professor can help personal level on a personal level, but does university has the different facility where it introduces you to the job market? So let's start from Tilak. Yeah.
So, okay. So in my university, there is a career center where you can go and talk to the officer. He will tell about how to get into a job market. And every semester, the university organizes 2, 3 different career fair. You have to register and go visit and like hiring manager from different companies. They come there and set up their table, and you go and visit each of them. You ask them if you are willing to hire an international student. If they said, then you can easily get into the job. Like, most of the undergraduate people, they will secure their job in career fair, and university has a huge role. Like, it will teach you how to write a good CV, how to make a resume look more attractive. Like it will help a lot. The university will help you a lot to get in the job. And the rank of the university is also based on how many students get into the job. Yeah, it determines their rank, so they work very hard.
So university plays a huge role to get a job. Yes, as Tilak mentioned, our university also organize a career fair in every semesters. So for each of the department. So
Yeah.
many undergrad get their jobs from the career fairs as well. So and in our case, our department also focus on the job sector. So our department just send us notifications about the hiring in any industries, and there is also a separate organization as Tilak mentioned in his universities, like the career.
Career center.
Yes, career center. So they really help us to get into the job. So university plays a huge role, and yeah, as the Tilak mentioned, yeah.
And there are like a ton of websites like Indeed, LinkedIn, Sec, where they will post the job opening. You can go and see them, and if you think that's the best for you, then you can apply. And your professor, yeah, if your professor has a very good connection, then he can directly land you to the job. Yeah, yeah. The posting in LinkedIn, the job posting is like the tip of the iceberg. Most of the job are based on connection and recommendations.
It's and recommendations play a huge role.
Yeah, yeah.
So the job scenario is likely to be the same as of Nepal, because if you know someone, you will directly get the job.
Yeah, in Nepal, the Bunsun, yeah, here it is called like the connection and recommendation.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think university provides you with the stipend that helps you to sustain in while you are studying. Is it enough, or you guys have to add some money, or you guys can sit easily from that money? So of course, it depends on different area of the US. So if you are at a very place where you have very low tending nature, very like cheap food and lifestyle, you get to save a lot more in contrast to the California state like
That's crazy expensive.
yeah, where you get a lot of money and you have to spend a lot of money also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is this up with you guys on this regard? If you guys had to share with
I'm not get to share because people must know. Like back in Nepal, like I was like, oh, I'm going to the US. They will pay me in dollars. I thought that, oh, I'll save a lot from it. As I came here, the reality, like it changed completely. Like my stipend is like it's not very that low. I'm satisfied with my stipend, but the amount of stipend you get, it varies. Like it depends on how much funding your lab is getting, and it depends on the department. Like computer engineering department students tends to get higher stipend than us. And if you want to go in agriculture, then your stipend will gonna be low. But again, it depends on the how much funding you are getting. So mine is I'm satisfied with it, and Morgantown is like that not that expensive. It's affordable. It's one of the affordable city for students, and and when you are getting admission from as a RA, your tuition gets waived completely, and you don't have to pay a dime to your university. But in my case, I have to pay like some commitment fee, like $1,900 a semester. Even if I have like fully waiver tuition and insurance, I don't have to pay insurance. But in some cases, the students have to pay their insurance. In some cases, they don't have to pay anything at all. It it depends. Regarding saving, I would like to tell everyone that don't be 100% sure that you will save a lot, because there are like hidden costs when you come here, and the money will support you. You don't have to worry about your money.
yeah, I think it is the same with Siddhant. So yes, what do you yeah? And you
See that okay, paid more than I'm getting paid.
But I had to pay more mandatory fees to my university as compared to you.
Really?
Yeah. At 3,000 is, sir. I depends upon the
And colleagues and my friends who are here in other universities, they don't have to pay at all, and their stipend is also very good. Yeah.
Yes.
so that is quite interesting to hear. The the very factual information that I think
Every student wants to know Erasmus that in Nepal, yes.
So you can for PhD, then you will get good amount, good sum.
because PhD is also mainly commitment to your time, energy, and dedication. Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, and I want to ask more about the future plans. So, are you guys planning to come to Nepal, or are you guys already planned to settle in US?
I don't know, but it depends upon the immigration's law in the US as well. But I want to do job and save some capital and come back to country. But
That's what what every people say, but the reality is different.
Yeah, the standard of life. I think US, if you want to stay in US,
Yeah.
yeah. With the main thing is, I think. So, what are the other things that Tilak think that is keeping Nepali people outside the Nepal?
Yesterday, I read a news in Nagrik. Like it was mentioned that the professors who come here to study, they are not returning. They are just staying here, and we are students. We are nobody. Even if the professors are not returning to Nepal, then what about us? Hmm, Everyone wants to get financially stable, buy a house, buy a car. And in Nepal, if you go for a job, then I don't think you'll buy a house or a car doing the job in Nepal. I think you will get in debt in Nepal, right?
It is impossible. Yeah, it is impossible to buy money, but buy a house with the monthly income that you get in Nepal, unless you are getting enormously high. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
and that is very, very, very low.
All this, yeah, absolutely. So everyone, even I thought of returning to Nepal after graduating and working 2-3 years, but the condition is there are a lot of variables that go here. Like as soon as you start working, you won't get leave, you will buy a car, and you have to pay mortgage, you have to pay EMI. So yeah, you were very like into the entanglement, as I like to say. It's very hard, and although the lifestyle seems quite good, but you don't know what's going inside.
Yeah. I think I recently saw a podcast on the doers where they are talking of where a woman, she went to Nepal after 14 years working in the US, and she's now starting an IT company. And I think that is giving her meaning. So it is of course all subjective, but we are want our basic things settled down first. Yeah, that is our very first priority. That should be everyone's first priority. I think. Let us talk about advising the newcomers. Yes, so what advice do you give? Let us hear from Tilak. So for the newcomers.
Yeah, for people folks out there, I want to say like you should, as I said earlier, you should be very clear. If you want to get into a good university, if you want to get into the research that you want to do, I suggest everyone to start working as soon as possible. If you want to get here into system dynamics, then you should start doing projects in that field. If you want to do here in CFD, aerospace, everything, at least you should have a prior experience, prior knowledge in that sector. Nobody is taking you unless you don't have enough experience. So do projects, do some published paper if possible, do some engage in some research work, and that's it. You don't have to worry about getting into the university or coming in US. You just do your part, and I'm sure you'll get one.
Yes, Siddhant, do you have any specific advice?
yeah, so just work from the undergrad, just build your portfolio from the undergrad and reach out to the professor and reach out to your senior as well who are in the US, their masters as well. So start doing your work after your undergrad is finished. Just do your English proficiency test. Just complete your other works as well. Yeah, the results in our Nepal result came late, but You have enough time to prepare for all of those which need to be during the applications process. You have enough time to write LOR. You have enough time to write SOP. You have enough time to do your English proficiency test. And after doing all of these, just start emailing the professors. Just let them know about your research interest and just reach out to the professors and seniors from any.
And yeah, and to add more, even if you do everything, mail your professor. And if you don't get replies from professor, don't lose your confidence. While applying, I would say patience is the key. The more you get wait, the better you get. Don't hurry. Do your research and don't lose confidence. Keep trying. That's my advice.
So keep trying to be patient. Yeah.
You were like inspiring all those audience that are watching.
Yeah, everyone comes. They have their dreams, and if my advice helps them, I'll be more than happy to share.
Yes, and I heard that.
And
Yeah, I heard from the many of the students who came here that I email about two. I email 2,000 email to the professors, and even even not had a chance to get an interview. Not to the ISD.
yeah, if you send like 2,000 emails to a professor and didn't receive a reply, there is something wrong with your application. There's something wrong in your email that is not attracting a professor.
Professors. Yeah.
Choose quality from quantity. If you write a good email, attach some certificates, attach your good resume, sheet, then the professor might contact you. 2,000 emails, that's a lot, right?
Yes.
I sent 50 emails.
And in my case, I don't know if I was lucky enough, but I got an opportunity from, I think, 10 or 15 professors. I emailed 10 or 15 professors. It's depend, yeah, it's depend upon the luck. It was my hard working, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was it was very empowering to hear you guys talk about all the tips and bits of community years and doing all the work. I want to thank you guys for being here and sharing the information.
Okay, we are also very thankful. Daya, thank you for inviting us. It was a very good chat. Worth remembering. Thank you all. Thank you for listening us.
Yes. So thank you, Daya, for inviting us. And I also got a lot of messages from my junior as well. So I think it's a good platform to put our message to them. Thank you, Daya, for this opportunity.
Yeah, well, recording this stubborn.